May 16th, 2020. So where have I been for the past couple weeks? To be honest, epilepsy's just been a real big butthole. And Mandy and I have just been by Holden's side almost nonstop, which is no different than how it's been the past 10 plus years. But there's just been it's so hard to talk about because facing the reality that your child is dying right in front of your eyes, even though you've known this for 10 years, it's just so hard to admit it, like really admit it. But we've just been giving everything we can to him, our time, our protection, and I continue to research every day and work at making sure the health of me and my family is the best it can be. But during that, the inevitable decline that comes with chronic neurodegenerative diseases, it's just torture. It's torture. And it's also the motivation for me to want to share with everyone, especially family. And you feel like, okay, family members witness this, so they're going to have the same motivation I do. But the reality of it is cognitive dissonance is a real beast. And it's really hard to face and to try to, or to have to admit that everything I've been taught my whole life could be wrong, could be a lie. What do I do? And so, of course, for the past 6, 7, 8 years, because in the beginning we were just, what happened and what can medicine do to fix it? Obviously the wrong thing. As I started to wake up and realize that that's what got us here, and I try to teach people that, of course, that's crazy. That's coincidence. It's just too coincidental. But it's not. And if you really dedicate your time to learning how the body works in harmony with nature, you realize exactly how this happened. And I've tried so hard to teach everybody that I love, and there's really no breaking past that wall until they're ready, until they want to understand and admit that I might be wrong for themselves. I might be wrong because everything I knew my whole life regarding health, regarding politics, regarding the world in general was wrong. And it was hard for me to admit that, but I guess I had a very strong motivator pushing me through that wall. And I try to leverage that and use it in a way to help others learn. But I can only do so much because my ignorance came with a great cost, and my kids deserve me and my time, and I give them everything I can, but I also want to give out to the world whatever I can to help people avoid the circumstance that is our life, because I don't want anybody to live it ever. So hopefully you all are doing your due diligence and researching independently, not just taking sound bites from here and there. Everybody always says your content's so long and it's just so boring, and you're probably right. It could probably be condensed quite a bit. But I dive into the research, I dive into the articles, I dive into the studies because you need to know the details. I can't just say, Well, the aluminum is being transferred to your brain by the macrophage and other, you know, body reactions, and you believe that. I need to show you the studies. I need to show you the research. Or you don't believe. You go, yeah, but that's not going to happen to my kid. It does. To a different degree for every child, there's different levels of injury. But it happens to everybody. Whether it's lacerations on the cranial nerves, you know, causing crooked smiles, different paralysis in the face, whether it's neurological damage in the brain, autoimmune disease from the gut, it all happens to everyone at some point. It's accumulation of toxicity, injected, ingested, breathed in. We're all being poisoned and slowly dying. And I try to say, wake up, everybody, wake up. And, oh, there's that conspiracy theorist going on about wild, unproven things. Again, why I stick to the research, the articles that actually show this isn't theory, this is reality, this is happening right before our blind eyes. But it's all getting very heavy lately. And in our home, we've really grasped the reality that we're losing our boy much more rapidly than we want. Of course, we wouldn't want any of it, but it's happening so fast. So what do? We just focus on giving him the best we possibly can every single day, every single moment. We give the best we can, and we ensure that we do the same for our children and for ourselves, and that our parents and our brothers and sisters and our nieces and nephews and our cousins all learn that they deserve the best and that they need to give the best. And that is hard because it means letting go of what we've been conditioned to believe is fun and safe. You know, picking up some Dunkin' Donuts and enjoying a nice picnic with some Doritos and a glyphosate-soaked bread sandwich and all this crap. We think it's safe. It's not. All of the problems we face today come down to two things: nutritional deficiency and toxic overload. And we can change it. We can change it, but it takes all of us. It takes a collected consciousness to fight back and demand that we want organic foods, that we don't want pesticides, insecticides sprayed in our air, that we don't want EMF pollution destroying the world, destroying our bodies, radiating the animals, the insects all around us that we need, especially pollinators like bees. We need it all. Oh, but what would I do without my Wi-Fi? And it's tough. But do we need to progress beyond where we're at right now? Can we slow down a bit? Nope, we can't slow down. We have leaders sign executive orders fast tracking GMOs. Fast tracking means bypassing safety regulations, okay? Fast tracking GMOs, fast tracking 5G telecommunication technologies, fast tracking vaccines and medications. What do they call it? Warp speed. Operation Warp Speed Ahead. Screw safety. We need to get this out there. It blows my mind. Warp speed ahead is how it's been in this scientific revolution for the past 2 centuries. And what has it brought us? Convenience? Pfft, that's for sure. And what has all the convenience brought us? Chronic disease. Chronic illness. Almost every child Like 1 in 3. I'm not going to go looking for articles. I want you guys to do your own research. But it's like 1 in 3 kids are going to be put on a medication that they're going to be on the rest of their lives. Unless you turn the ship around. 1 in 2 have chronic illness. Forever. Autoimmune, multiple sclerosis, type 1 diabetes, epilepsy, neurological disorders like epilepsy, autism, learning disabilities, attention deficit disorder is everywhere. Everywhere. And I'm not just talking about vaccines. You've seen my content. It's about the food. It's about the air. It's about the water. It's about the medications. The conditioning that's done to you to say, oh my gosh, fever's dangerous. Fight it with Tylenol. Fight it with ibuprofen. Bring it down, bring it down, bring it down. You're doing far more damage by giving your kids those poisons and just letting that fever ride and letting the immune system learn and build stronger and get better. You're not actually doing damage that way. You're actually improving your child, strengthening them. Everything that's been invented, no matter the convenience it has brought, has come with a massive trade-off. Not worth it. Not everything. There's some things that have just been amazing innovations, but not really in the realm of medicine. To me, the biggest innovators are those that just recognize that the answers have always been in nature all along, and that have the courage to share that. And then those people that have the courage and discipline in this day of attention deficit disorders and hyperactivity to actually sit down, listen to the message, learn it, apply it in real life, and see where it takes you. Did it work for me or did it not? Then I move on to the next thing that I've learned. So who are some of the best teachers that are out there in my opinion? For me, probably the number one, Dr. Eric Berg. Every day he's bringing quality content. Some of it's recycled throughout the years because most people don't have the patience to go back 8 years on his channel and work your way forward and see how even what he teaches has evolved drastically over the years, but it all goes back to the basics of nature. A good lifestyle, good eating habits, quality food, not this industrial crap that's poisoned. Quality is so important. And then pairing so that you are supporting your body, supporting your microbiome that is literally governing all the health outcomes that you experience, whether it's neurological, autoimmune, obesity. It all comes down to our lifestyle, to what we're exposed to in the environment, to what we allow ourselves to eat and drink. I am a broken record because this is what is most important. I watched the articles. I'm not going to pull up the screen share because nobody really cares unless you want to go do the research yourselves. Just some of the most recent headlines around microbiome. Scientists find role of gut microbiome in motor neuron disease. Obviously. The links between microbiome and memory. Gut microbiome influences ALS outcomes. Scientists explore links between genetics, gut microbiome, and memory. Microbiome is the key to immune system function. Microbiota-induced type 1 interferons instruct a poised basal state of dendritic cells. This is going back to that immune function. Individualized mosaics of microbial strains transfer from the mom to the infant gut. Goes on and on. Back to toxic exposures. Celiac disease linked to common chemical pollutants. That's pesticides, the, PFOAs, PBDEs, in flame retardants, the chemicals in the non-stick pans, the black-coated pans you need to use stainless steel. You can try ceramic if you want non-stick. They're safe options. Never use aluminum. Never use non-stick with the fluoridated gases and all this garbage. Proof. Celiac disease is linked to these common chemical pollutants. What is your toxic load at this point in your life? The clothes you wear, the furniture in your home, contributing to the dust you're breathing, your proximity to cell phone towers, which is getting harder and harder to avoid, especially with the rollout of 5G, which really did happen during the lockdown. Okay, I can walk around my neighborhood with my family, and now our street lights have transmitters bolted onto them with wires going up with antennas pointing down and up every couple blocks. We're all getting radiation poisoning, increased microwave frequencies beaming through us all day, every day. Smart meters on your home, Wi-Fi router in your home, 2G, 3G, 4G towers in the distance, for some people right in their backyard or at their school, and now 5G towers every block or two, creating this surveillance grid. You can't avoid it. You are constantly being radiated. So much so that kids are now coming down with radiation poisoning, ending up in the hospital, and the media wants to tell you it's Kawasaki disease because of the sun virus that's out there. Oh, stay in your homes. Stay in your homes and wear a mask. The mask works, but we can't open up society, but the mask works. Kind of like vaccines, right? Stay in your home if you want to be safe. You're safer at home, except the majority of people going to the hospital are the ones that have been staying home. Weird. Stop listening to these liars. Get out there and live your life. You need to be getting fresh oxygen. You need to be getting sun exposure so that your body can produce natural vitamin D, which is a regulator of so many systemic, your health systems, your central nervous system, your neurological central nervous system, cardiovascular system, all of this, your immune system, very much impacted by vitamin D levels. Improving your diet. You know, there's so much BS going on around today. It's disgusting. And it's heartbreaking because more households than not are dealing with these issues, right? But the doctors are telling you, oh, it's genetic. It's your child. They're damaged and broken. It's not your lifestyle. It's not the food you're eating. It's not the cell phones and the Wi-Fi routers and everything around their heads all day long. It's not the poison in the water that they continue to fight for to put in your water and poison you. It's not the heavy metals in the air that are sprayed overhead all day long. It's your problem. It's your baby's genetic defect, which it really isn't. That is all expressed based on environmental exposure. A lot we don't have control over, but a lot we do. You can choose what you're buying and potentially poisoning your family with. And you can reduce that toxic load, and you can enhance the nutrient density in your diet. You can fix things. Yeah, I'm a little depressed. It's been a rough week. We've had some tough discussions about what life is going to be like without our son and when that might be. Because it feels like it's coming faster and faster. discussions I wish no family had to have about their children, about their babies. But so many do. So many of our friends here in Colorado have been having those discussions as our kids get older and continue to decline faster and faster because of irreversible damage done by scientific innovations and interventions. And then we learn, had we only just trusted God's divine design and honored it, we wouldn't be here. And many of you who are starting your families and pregnant with your babies are facing these amazing choices you could make right now. And they will say, I'm so scared to have to make this choice. Let me ask you, why is it so scary? Because you've been programmed to believe in a fear of a very rare possibility that you are more afraid to trust in your God's divine design of you and the miracle growing inside you, that you will say, I don't trust that. I'm going to roll the dice with this for-profit company telling me it's actually a better idea to literally inject a cocktail of poisons in my perfect divine baby. Because I don't trust God's plan. But I do trust science. Science that is for sale. Science that is written and generated to support a product that makes billions and even trillions of dollars. I'm talking about both vaccines and medications. Is that really what you believe? Do you believe that God got it wrong and man's figured it out? Because the more you follow science, the more articles you will see that say, here's how we think it works, but we don't know. This is too complicated. But we're going to try to control it with this chemical. Trust us. I trust God. And I've learned that I was foolish and blind to ever question his divine design and his divine plan. So what do you believe? What do you believe? All right, guys. I don't know if anything I said today even made sense. I just wanted to share some of my thoughts and hopefully have an impact on somebody who's making those decisions right now. Love you guys.